Welcome to BTR Presents Top Rope Tuesday.
Hey,
I am your host, Randizzle,
I
aka
hope you are.
Randy. I am. To my left is my tag team partner, Retro Relapse, aka Fernando. What's going on,
What to
Fernando?
do?
What's going on?
It's just another wonderful Tuesday that we get to come to you guys and bring you some wrestling. Bring you
It's
some wrestling, some stuff that we watch, some stuff we want to rewatch, some stuff that we just want to present to you. And being that it's Top Rope Tuesday, I believe we're going to talk about some AEW today.
yes, and I have to say before we even get into it, Top Rope Tuesday. It's a new thing on Tuesdays, but this is very specific to this today because AEW had one hell of a fucking pay-per-view this past Sunday. Like I feel like this is AEW's one of their best pay-per-views I've seen in a
In a
long
good while.
time.
In a
In
good
a
while,
long
not going to
time.
lie.
And
Yeah.
you got fucking 5.5 to 6 hours worth of fucking all wrestling. A
Dude,
lot of wrestling. A lot of
dude, I
wrestling.
fell asleep at one point. I was drunk.
I
I
was like,
fell
you aren't you
asleep.
off on Monday and you still fell asleep drunk?
Man, well, you didn't drive back from Dallas during Sunday,
You
and
had
then
car lag.
coming,
You didn't have jet lag. You had car lag.
I had car lag, and then coming home and excited to see the pay per view, ate some food, drinking some beer, getting into it, watching everything, and then I think it was after the second to last match, battery just drained, just straight up drained.
But
But it's okay because
would
I
you
got a
watch it?
second win.
You
I
ever
did get
watch
a
it?
second win. Yeah, no, I didn't have to. I got a second win. I was good.
Okay, there you go. There you
I
go.
went all the way through, baby. I was gonna make sure I made it worth the $49.99
You
on
got
YouTube.
you
That
got
cam.
that adrenaline shot.
That's right.
Alive!
That's right. I want to see the last match.
Which was a fucking banger. But can you have a chance? Can you pull up that card and we just kind of run through it, speak our piece about it, and just go
I
through it?
am not going to because I already been on the SmackDownHotel.com. Oh my God.
Oh,
With the
SmackDown
card ready to
Hotel.
go. You damn right. Because
SmackDownHotel.com.
when you need all your AEW, WWE, New Japan, TNA, NWJP, MLW, all the facts, you go to the SmackDownHotel.com and they got you covered.
Nice, nice. Well, I do want to talk about. This is the one thing, one of the many things I like about AEW that they have pre-card matches. I think there's,
Always.
because WWE went away from it. They used to have it once upon a time, but AEW is going strong, and they have the build up to see kind of entice you to get the pay per
To
view.
buy the pay per view.
Yeah,
Exactly.
which I do love.
And
I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
part of the buy-in, there was two matches this time around. First match, it was Anna Jay and Harley Cameron versus Mega Bane and Penelope Ford.
They got the TNA tenacity and aggression,
Mm-hmm.
or like Anna Jay might say, the tittiness.
That's just an Oh man, being that it was these four women, it did not disappoint because usually three of the four, maybe two of the four, botch a bit. But they came and they brought their A game. It was a good match for being it was in a buy-in. This was a good match that you would see on Collision, that you would see on Dynamite, because there's a couple I believe in the card as well that we'll definitely dive into. But this was a good match.
Yeah, and I like that the chemistry between Anna Jay and Harley Cameron, and of course you get to have well the what do you call herself, the Megasaurus or Banosaurus or whatever the fuck she calls herself, and Penelope Ford. And I like Penelope Ford. She's been killing it for the past couple of months, and it's nice to see her. And maybe next pay per view she'll actually be on the main card. I feel like she's working her way up to it. But
Yep.
a great match, a good buy-in match, kind of entice you again with the little TNA, little tenacity and aggression.
hmm I mean,
But
did you not see when Harley Cameron grabbed Penelope Ford's face and rubbed it all in Anna Jay's butt?
you know how many people fucking posted that video and was like, "I wish this was
Pretty
me."
sure a ton, especially because it was a sky view. Also, it wasn't
Yeah,
just the plane view; it was drone up view. Yeah.
funny, funny. I like the that random ass little pairing between them two, and I still think Penelope Ford's carrying Megan Bain, but
Yeah,
she
but
she
Megan
she
Bain's
played
a
her
beast,
role. She
though.
played her role. Yeah, she did her power moves, and it was good. It was a good intro match, a good pre-match.
Next on the buy-in, the other match, I kind of lost interest in this just because it's four people I didn't really feel like watching, but I know they do it just to put it on there. This was Bandito, AR Fox, Commander, and Hologram versus Trent Beretta, Rocky Romero, Leo Rush, and Action Andretti.
So they had to get the Duncal's family in there, and then they had this
Hmm.
big old thing with Action Andretti and Leo Rush, and then all the luchadors. So
Hmm.
you get a little bit of luchador. There was no luchador on this main card per
Hmm.
se, but you got it on the
You still got a
pre-show.
taste of it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because it's all Ring of Honor stuff, and that's okay. It's a lot of Ring of
Yep.
Honor stuff, so that's a good buy-in. So you're gonna get some action. It's a four-way dance. You can get
Hmm.
high flying. You can get hard hitting.
Yeah, like this is the buy-in. This is to get you to watch and knowing that a lot of the luchadors in this match, throw their bodies to the wind. It's always something good to watch, and that's why they put them on there. And the
Exactly.
faces took the win on that.
Did you see on the media scrum, fucking Bandito had the tag team championship instead of his world heavyweight championship Ring of
Whoops.
Honor belt? Yeah.
Whoop.
Oopsies.
Yep. Grab the wrong one. They have them all in the back just sitting there. They don't take them home.
Yeah, not
So
because
we're
they're
gonna start
gone
off
the
the
whole
pay per
fucking
view.
week. They're gone the whole
Yeah.
week.
And get them lost in customs. Yeah. No. They Nope. They go back in the suitcase, back in the big old metal trunk, and then they take them with them to the next town, because they can be trusted there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting off the card. It opened up with the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Final, where the winner gets an AEW Women's World Championship match at All In Texas. Mercedes Monet versus Jamie Hayter.
I've been hating on Mercedes Monet for a while now, ever since she went to AEW, but she showed why. I mean, she can fucking wrestle, and Jamie Hayter was a great opponent for her to kind of show out. And Jamie Hayter, I think this helped build Jamie Hayter also because she hasn't fought someone who is strong in the ring in a long time, and it was a good match. And although we might have all predicted that Sasha Banks or
This
Mercedes
should
Monet,
have gone to Jamie Hayter. Let's not put the caveat out there that it was Mercedes all the way. This should have gone to Jamie Hayter. But what really, really got the end point of this match was when Mercedes said, "You know what? I'm just gonna hit you with this cross arm DDT thing." Did you see the way Jamie's head landed on the mat?
I
You
s-
would have thought her her neck went into her shoulders and game over, dude. Like paralyzed. It was bad.
I didn't
That
see it. I didn't see that part. I didn't see it.
dude, you need to go back and rewatch the ending of this match, because the way that she hit there with that DDT, you could tell Mercedes was just frustrated because Jamie would not stay down for the 3 count. So she pulled a move out of nowhere, and it wasn't like an RKO. It was just a wraparound, and the way she dug her into the mat. I almost thought she broke her neck. It was that bad. Like everybody in my household was, you had the gasp. The
Was it like an
oh,
impaler? Like did she pick her up, or she just crossed her arms and then like almost like a pedigree DDT?
not even like she just pulled her arm back behind her and just dropped her ass hard. It was bad. It was bad. Play the replay. Look at that.
Did Jamie
It
Hayter look
looked like
rocked? Did she look
it
rocked?
looked hmm it looked like Mercedes went in the business for herself. I
Or
mean, if it
or
was
maybe
meant
or maybe she was meant to win, but Jamie Hayter's like I'm gonna get my fucking licks, and I haven't been in a pay per view in a long time.
if it was
And
meant to look like that, kudos to them for pulling that off. But it looked bad. It looked botched. It looked bad. Like when you have a stiff landing, like I don't know what you're doing, and they just rock you and drop you, and you just see the neck go straight into the mat. It's ugly, ugly, ugly. But nonetheless, Mercedes did win. She ran out of there. She knew what she did was bad, because usually you stay there and you're there collapsed and breathing and stuff. No, she rolled out of the ring and ran all the way to the top of the ramp where the trophy was waiting, and they had to go run the belt over to her so she could celebrate. And she was there out of breath. But yeah, after she hit that move, she rolled out of the ring with the 1, 2, 3, and she ran over there.
see
So
that makes sense that people were calling her Mercedes Hogan. She went into business for herself.
it really looked like it did, for real. And the memes are out there, and everyone's just going nuts on it because of the way that Hogan used to do it. Hogan's like, I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to lose to this guy. I'm not going to deal with this guy. That's what Mercedes did. It really did look like that. So if it was meant to be like that, kudos, because that was a show. That was a stealer. If it's not meant to be, fuck.
It was still a good match. They put on a great match, and if that's the
Hmm.
way it ended, hopefully it was planned and it wasn't something that would just go like you said, going into business for yourself. But Hey, now we're gonna get Mercedes Moné versus Tony Storm at All In. Given that that Tony Storm doesn't lose that belt or gets hurt, or
Well,
if
we'll
Mercedes
talk
Moné
about
gets
that
hurt,
there in a minute because she did defend the championship. But the next match on the card, FTR, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness.
I didn't like this
Uh,
match. I
this
wasn't too
should
fond
have
of.
been honestly a collision, uh, dynamite throwaway match. I get it. I know why they did it.
You see that
They're
missed
trying to.
spot?
Yep.
You saw that weird spot where they had to push Nigel McGuinness out the way because he
Yep.
wasn't. I think people forget that he's not an active wrestler, consistent. So
Nope.
he almost did what Kyrie Sane did, but no one got hurt, right? In this
Yep.
situation, he hadn't been in the game for a while, other than his match with Daniel Bryanson or Brian Danielson. So it's been a minute, and well, they had to, and I'll just chalked it up to, hey, shit happens. You gotta just roll with the punches and just keep on going. And outside of that one mess up, it was still a good match. It was what it
It
is, and
was.
it was really a push. I feel like for
FTR
Danny Garcia. I think it was like a push for Danny Garcia.
FTR came out on top,
Yeah,
and Daniel Garcia ended up getting choked out. He did not come out from that. Was it sharpshooter? He ended up
sharpshooter.
passing out the sharpshooter, and that was the end of that.
I think they're building him up. To be honest with you, even though he might have
Mhm.
taken that loss, like you
He
also
didn't
can't have
lose.
FTR. Yeah, you can also you also can't have FTR, who you're trying to build his heels, lose right away. You just
No,
can't. So
no. And they need the momentum, and it was. I think we had called this one before because of Nigel being in there. I mean, yeah, he's been a wrestler. Yeah, he's been tested tough and true, but I didn't see a win coming out of this tag team. But let's see how it plays out on Dynamite and or Collision because those will be coming up tomorrow and Saturday. Next match on the card was a stretcher match between Ricochet and Mark Briscoe. Son of a bitch, this match.
this was a fucking again. I'm glad that Mark Bristol's getting the highlight, and with a good wrestler like Ricochet, man, like they didn't hold back and they did a lot of shit to each other, and
Mm-hmm.
it went back and forth. And at some point, he doesn't realize like because it was a kind of drawn together match, it still served its purpose, and it was just like, who's gonna win? Who the fuck's gonna win this match? So I enjoyed this match. It was one. It was a good like, boom. Now we're in it. Now we're in it kind of match.
Fun fact: AEW doesn't call this an ambulance match because ambulance match is trademarked by WWE. Therefore, it's called a stretcher match, which is still entails where you have to uh, incapacitate your opponent, put them on the stretcher, and throw them into the ambulance and close the doors. And we almost got there really quick, right off the bat. Ricochet had Mark Briscoe on there, but Mark Briscoe was able to stop it with a crutch before he could close the doors on him. And they went back and forth for a good while. And there happened to be a spot where Ricochet got Mark Briscoe pretty good, and the color came out. But he bladed too hard on himself that he was bleeding for like the next, I don't know, 20 minutes of that match. Like five into it,
You,
and
you, think- you think
everyone loves
you,
blood and violence.
you think he bladed or he went the hard way and he got hit
No,
with something?
he bladed. He bladed because he was on the ground when it happened.
Okay,
You
okay.
you could see AEW isn't always the best at having their directors change the camera in enough time for it to go where you could see that he did something. And I think he went a little too deep because he was just full of it. In his eyes constantly was just running. And we'll talk about that a little bit later because he does come out a little bit later. And that was just you would have thought he was taking a shower. But yeah, no, he was bloodied up and yeah, Ricochet was able to get him back on the stretcher, especially when they're doing those top rope moves off onto the guy on the stretcher. Those are just gnarly because seeing all the blood on the stretcher without the mat, the stretcher padding, and just seeing the blood on there, it's like, dude, like those are no blood capsules. This is real.
They
It's
brought the
crazy.
violence. They brought the
They did.
violence. That's for
They
sure.
they brought the blood, the ECW blood and violence in that match, but Briscoes were always known for that. So
Briscoe
you
hit
know it.
the Briscoe hit the fucking homage to Sabu and hit the
Mhm.
he gotta and
Well, he didn't
he
do
didn't
the
hit the
chair.
move. He didn't get to hit the
He
move.
was trying to run out of the ring like he usually. Sabu sets up the chair right by the ropes, takes a lap to hit the ropes and come out. When he was about to jump on the chair and jump over to hit Ricochet, Ricochet just throws a chair and pop right in the face. More blood come out. That was a gnarly. That was a gnarly
That is
match.
technically classic Sabu because that shit happened to him a lot also.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He had plenty of scars on his head, all over his head, to prove what had happened.
Exactly.
So Ricochet took that one. Next match on the card, the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. The Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin with MVP and MJF by their side, versus the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara.
What do you think about this match?
Uh, it wasn't a bad match. What is a great match?
Yeah,
This is another one that could have been on TV, but it was cool to see the shenanigans with MJF. And there was a point where we thought that Bobby Lashley and MJF were going to go at it for whatever reason, and they ended
psych,
up they
psych.
cohesively worked together and ended up coming full circle where they just Bobby Lashley was able to do what he needed to do, and who did they put Dustin Rhodes through the barricade.
Yeah,
That was just gnarly. Bobby Lashley speared the shit out of him.
yeah. I like that Bobby Lashley and MJF were getting into it. He's like, hey, don't fucking interfere, don't interfere, and MJF's like, oh, what? And then Bobby starts smiling. MJF starts smiling. They dap up, and then he just fucking runs and fucking spears the shit out of Dustin Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. I
So
mean,
this
it's a
might
good
be a
back
great
and forth.
partnership. Yeah, this might be a great partnership, and it's fun to watch, right? Like it's just like
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen next? What's gonna
Because
happen
you want to
next?
see it implode, but you want to
Exactly,
see them succeed for a little bit to see how long they can take it and when it's going to get to that point of do I want to keep watching this and supporting this.
exactly.
And Sammy, as always, he's on a pay per view. It's been a while. I mean, he's been on Ring of Honor, but now he's back on AEW TV and stuff, and he was able to show out and do what Sammy does. It just wasn't enough though. Well, Shelton got the win, and the Hurt Syndicate are still your tag team champions. Next match on the card, the AEW Continental Championship, Kazuchika Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey.
I think this was a great match for Okada to show why he's still fucking a great wrestler. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll give it to Speed. I know you again. I still know from the get go that you're not a big Speedball Bailey fan, but he fucking showed out and he fucking had some extreme kicks to fucking Okada's face, and Okada fucking ate them, dude. Like
Mm-hmm.
he got knocked down a couple times, but it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But again, Okada is someone you want to have to hold the belt. Speedball, I know a lot of people like who have come into the AEW maybe not have gotten all what they asked for. Maybe they had a good storyline, then they got kind of faded out. But they've been doing right by Speedball because he's been fucking having great matches against great opponents, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's fucking eating those losses. But it was still a good match. I liked it. I enjoyed this match.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I see Okada, and this may be a bold statement for those that don't agree, and that's okay because we're here to give those opinions, right? But to me, it's Okada is I want to say he's AEW's Gunther,
Not
for
really.
lack of a better wrestler. I want to say that because to me, it's the same thing. You got the strong, meaty wrestler that just does. He sticks to the basics, but gets through whatever he's trying to do, and it works. It works, and hence Okada's had a long reign with that championship, just like Gunther had the long reign with the IC belt. Same. It's kind of the same thing. It's like let me copy your homework, but change it a little bit. But Okada's antics are what make it more watchable than when you see Gunther. It's from time to time. Yeah, Gunther, runs his mouth on the mic, but when you see Okada there and he gives his one-liners because of his being that he's not from America, it's just that's hilarious. That's entertainment. I'm glad they put that in there. Bitch.
Bitch.
So next match on the card, AEW's Women World Championship match. Thomas Tony Storm with Luther versus Mina Shirakawa.
I
Oh,
I did not watch this match. This was my
it,
restroom break, unfortunately. I like Tony Storm, but I didn't see Mira Shikawa like a good opponent, to be honest with you. Like it's just like I don't really care for this match, to be honest with you.
it wasn't a bad match.
Mhm.
It was a decent match. They did go all around the ring. I did watch this one all the way through. Uh they had plenty of spots out there where they involved Luther. They had him involved, and you would have thought with some of the things that were going on that Mina was going to take it, but Tony came out on top. It was it was a good match. It was a good showing, and at the end of it, they both literally kissed and made up.
Well, they're
So
friends, right? And
yeah,
unfortunately, they can't bring up why they're friends. They won't say her name, and that kind of gives you indication that she's done and out of the business. But
but see, we don't know that because she would put on social media, guys, I can't take a break. I'm on vacation. But of course, that's always just a throw of the scent off. It
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
it is. If she was already 1 foot out the door, then she is 1 foot out the door. And we are talking about Mariah May. If you didn't
yes.
already know the implications there. We got a few more matches left on the card. I mean, for being that it was a 6-hour pay per view, we had 9 big matches and 2 in the pre show. Next one in line, and son of a bitch, this was just exactly what the title of this match was: Anarchy in the Arena. It was Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Willow Nightingale, the Ops consisting of Samoa Joe, Shibata, and Powerhouse Hobbs with Prince Nana versus the Death Riders, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Marina Shafir, and the Young Bucks, Matthew Jackson and Nicholas Jackson.
The fucking Kenny Omega getting on the mic and saying, "We're gonna do this right. We're gonna start it off," and
Well,
then
first off, before you even kick it up, you got to let everybody know if they didn't watch it because we're kind of giving them some of the insight of what happened. When the Young Bucks came out, they came out to a 4th of July esque style 1700s doodle of just a drummer just giving his little cadence because they came out as the forefathers of AEW and they're dressed head to toe looking like they were part of
the founding fathers are for sure.
the voyage across America with George Washington at the helm, and here they are waving their flags. We're the founders and stuff. Well, that drum, and just like Anarchy has done in the past, whenever they have the last person song that comes on, they play that thing for like 20 minutes straight. But Kenny got on the mic, like Randy was trying to say here, and says, let's cut that crap and let's put some 2000s banger on right now and just and once that hit, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the crowd went nuts and Swerve even jumped out with the timing and piled on everybody, which was so cool. And but what was hilarious and ridiculous was that song played even longer. And then when it stopped, they played it again.
You could hear it like it fucking. It
And when
didn't
it
even fade
stopped,
into it. It
it
just
played
fucking
it again.
up until the end when it completely stopped it the whole way. Like it would have a complete stop. There'd be a pause. Back to it.
Yep. I think they ran it 4 times. That was crazy.
They ran it a couple of times. That match was long, but not as long as people might think. It was just a lot. There was a lot of shit going on. There was a fucking lot of shit. Again, this is again. I said last week. I'm not too fond of these matches because there's just so much action that you can't catch everything. And that definitely did happen. Like you just couldn't catch anything right away, like unless they were panning directly the cameras to them. But I did like that. I mean, in this match, it really made Powerhouse Hobbs look like a fucking animal because he got hit so many fucking times with the chair, and this is like, what the fuck was that? A fucking bee sting? A fly?
Oh yeah, and this was the first time also that the women were involved in this match because we had Willow Nightingale and Marina Shafir in the match, and of course a lot of the times the guys didn't mess with the women went after the women, but it was nice to see when you know Kenny said, you know what, I'm gonna give Marina a snapdragon, not on purpose, but she came going after him, and it's like, oh well, pop.
She fucking said, do it to me, do it. And
hmm
he's like, all right.
hmm You want to be one of the boys? You got it.
I like
Yep.
when they padlocked Willow through her fucking gauge, and she was stuck on the
Oh
post.
man, she was stuck on the post through a chain with her ear locked in, and she could not get out. It wasn't until later when they actually came out with the key during the match that what did they come through? Oh, Nana had the keys because Nana was on top of a forklift, and they had somebody driving the forklift, and Swerve was on a pallet, and they raised that thing high above the stage where Swerve jumped off and jumped on top of the Bucks. If I'm not mistaken, it was the
Yeah,
Bucks,
yeah, it was the Bucks.
and got some revenge on them, and that's when Nana came and unlocked that lock and got Willow out of that predicament because that was pretty bad. Because I mean, if she really wanted to go help while they were beating the guys down, she couldn't, or unless she needed to. It was like a Saw movie. She had to rip her ear off to go save them, and
I don't think
I'm
she'll do
glad they
that.
didn't do that. But I mean, hey man,
You never know.
you never know.
But then, of
Yeah.
course, Gabe Kidd comes out, and the first thing
hmm
they say on the fucking mic or on the announce booth is, Gabe Kidd, John Moxley recruited him because he hates everything that AEW is about. He hates everything AEW is about, and he's here to help John Moxley, whatever, ruin wrestling or whatever. John Cena move. Right? And then who comes back out? Fucking Mark Briscoe. Just fucking does a
Uh huh.
crazy ass flip. all like Fern said, didn't take a shower, still all bloody,
Still
just
just dried up
fucking
blood all over his face, all over his shirt. But he got back into it, and he got reopened again.
yeah.
That was horrible. He got reopened again, where he'll bleed again.
Then they piled a good chunk of them into the ambulance.
They kept the ambulance there, which is crazy. He thought they would have taken Briscoe to the hospital. No, he just walked it
Mm-mm.
off, and they had all the Death Riders were in there except for the Bucks.
Yeah, and then Swerve Strickland got his new shoe. What do they call it? I forgot what they call it. But
They're Reeboks, I believe.
yeah, no, not Reebok, but he calls them something. They have like a name.
Uh,
Reebok Freshes or whatever with fucking thumbtacks on them. Takes off his wrestling boots, puts them on, and does a double stomp to fucking the Bucks.
he does it to one of them. I think he did it to Nicholas because excuse me, on the at the same time on the ring. I mean, on the at the top of the rope, at the top of the ramp was I think it was the top of the ramp. It
It
was
was
Kenny
Kenny.
Omega.
Yeah,
It was Kenny Omega and Matthew Jackson, and Kenny put Matthew through a how do you call it, a gigged table that was full of fireworks or
explosion table.
explosions. It was an
Yeah,
exploding table. So when he did the move and put him, I think he did the one winged angel and put him through the table. When they landed on the ground because it was high up, when they landed, the whole thing exploded.
yeah.
That was that was gnarly.
It was a pretty fun match. I would say like one of the highlights was the Bucks beat up Kenny, had him hanging on the ropes,
Hmm.
and one of the Jacksons did a leg drop, and as he flew off the ropes, the other Jackson caught him and powerbombed him through the fucking table, which
Oh,
was
through the
awesome.
table, yes, yes,
That
right
was a
on the
nice
outside.
highlight. That was a nice highlight.
Hmm.
Will Nightingale smashed the bottle on Mira Shafir's head. That was cool.
Hmm. Even Hook came out with an assist, holding a golf club, helping out Samoa Joe for a minute. And then Samoa's like, "Well, come on in," and he's like, "No," and left it and took off. So that kind of opened it up to see what's going to happen since Hook was part of the ops, but we don't know if he's clear yet because he should be a trio champion with them, but didn't do it. And that's why they recruited Powerhouse Hobbs a few weeks back.
Yeah. What do you think about that match overall? Like, how do you feel about that?
Overall was a fun match. Overall, it brought a lot of anarchy to without being cliche. Like it brought a lot of craziness, which was cool to see. Yeah, there were some spots that were biased, there were some spots that were missed or whatever, but you don't know when the camera's on you. You probably hear they probably hear someone yelling at them, "Camera's on you, do it. Camera's on you, do it." Because with all the noise and the music playing loud and everything, it's just ruckus, man. It's just a crazy time. So to see that going on, it's like wow, you know,
Yeah.
good match,
It
good
was,
match.
it was
Overall, good match. Good filler, good filler.
good filler for sure.
Because I can tell you right now, this next match, I would have loved to really pay attention to, but I fell asleep watching because I was already tired from all that happened there. And it was and I don't think this match probably could have got something more, but it wasn't highlighted where it should have been. It's hard to follow a match like an Anarchy in the Arena match. Supposedly the the big match on the card was supposed to be after them, but they ended up putting a different match, which was the Don Callis family, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander versus the Paragon, Adam Cole, Roger Strong, Kyle O'Reilly.
It was a good
Did you watch
match.
this match?
I watched this full match, and I mean they really pushing Paragon to be strong. And I don't know if people forget. I sure so didn't, but this is the fucking undisputed era, man. Like they fucking killed it in Black and Gold and NXT, and they're fucking so smooth with their moves and and how they're cohesive with each other. That now that they're Paragon, like they're fucking smooth still. And I'm glad they fought. Like those dudes are fucking small. Roderick Strong, not Kyle Fletcher, Adam Cole,
Kyle
and
O'Reilly.
Kyle O'Reilly. They're small dudes compared to fucking Takeshita, the Proto Star, and fucking Josh Alexander, dude. Those are big motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Takeshita. I like Josh Alexander. And I like Kyle Fletcher. Like he's a fucking arrogant piece of shit, but he's fucking good, right? And of course you got Paragon. Like they're great, and they had a hell of a fucking banger match, and it really was back and forth. Everyone was getting their ass whooped. Everyone was getting their licks in, and someone has to come out on top.
And it ended up being the Don Callis family on top of
Yes,
Paragon. So who knows if there will be a rematch of sorts in the future,
there is
or
supposed
these
to be
guys will go one on
Kyle
ones.
Fletcher is supposed to go against Adam Cole for the TNT Championship, at some
Gotcha.
point. They brought it up the whole match because right now Takeshita is the peer, not a peer champion. He is a New Japan champion. I don't know
Pure.
if it's a I don't know if it's a peer.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's a peer, but he's a champion for New Japan, and obviously Josh Alexander just got there. Also, he's new to the company. I believe Kyle Fletcher's going to go after Adam Cole because I'm bringing it up. So it's a great match. I enjoyed it.
Mm.
This is hard hitting. This is like an actual wrestling match because they did a lot of fucking submissions, a lot of fucking kicks, not too much high flying shit. It was just all power moves and submissions, which was cool.
Takeshita at the moment is the never open weight champion.
Never open way. Okay, see. So there you go.
I had to look it up. I was like, you know what? Let me make sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
because those are all retired. Yeah, these are the current ones that are in New Japan right now. So he's the never open weight champion.
yeah. And it was a great match. It really was. Like I don't know if you have a chance to rewatch it, but rewatch that match. It's really good. And I got to rewatch that Mercedes Monet and Jamie Hayter match.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, leading into the final match of the card, the Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Final. The winner gets an AEW World Championship match at All In Texas. Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay.
great fucking match.
Great
Match
fucking
of
match.
the fucking week to me. And there was a lot of good wrestling all fucking week.
Mm-hmm.
We said it last episode where you had Raw, you had NXT, you fucking had Dynamite, then you had TNA Impact and fucking Collision, Friday Night SmackDown, Saturday Night Main Event, and then on Sunday Battleground and Double or Nothing. Match of the fucking week.
Hey,
Great match.
Didn't TNA also have a pay per view as well?
No, they had their match. They had their show Impact, and then they had a dual NXT TNA pay per view, which was Battlegrounds.
No, the Under Siege happened.
I thought that was next week.
That was on Friday. Under Siege because I shared the link with you. Uh, somebody had put it online. Somebody from TNA put it online where they streamed the whole thing on Twitch and on socials, I believe. But TNA Under Siege was that happened on Friday.
So that's a lot of
Hmm.
fucking wrestling. Dude. That's a lot
Yeah.
of wrestling. A lot of
Uh
wrestling,
huh.
and I'll still stand like from watching a lot of that. I watched most of all those programs, and not all of them, other than the TNA pay per view. I didn't realize that was going on. But I dual watched Battleground and Double or Nothing. But it was fucking like that was this match that we're about to talk about was hands down the match of the week. Like I enjoyed it. It was a good story build up, and it was a back and forth. And I mean, Hangman really fucking took it to Osprey. Like they went fucking move for move, punch for punch, elbow to elbow, kick to kick. And at the end of the day, Hangman fucking won. And people thought that Osprey had it. You know, he's the golden
Osprey
Bray.
had that, man. Osprey had it, but Hangman had it just a little bit more. And yeah, he did. He did take Osprey to the limit, and you could see it in Osprey that he was beat. He was beat. He got beaten by Hangman, and Hangman was able to find that proverbial wrestling fifth gear and really bring it to Osprey, where Osprey didn't know how to rebuttal back. You thought towards the end with one of the little quick hiccup moves that Osprey does that he was going to turn it around, but Hangman and his top rope lariat, man, you just can't beat him.
And I like that. You know, after he won, he walked up the ramp, saw the belt, had put the belt on, and then he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go shake Will Ospreay's hand. That was a fucking good match. And he shook his
Yep.
hand. And I feel like, this is, I'll play devil's advocate real quick on this one, that they might run this back. And they might turn this to a triple threat match for All In, make it bigger. But I don't, that's how good that match was. That's how good both
Yeah,
of them were. That's how good both of them were. And if you want to take the belt off of Moxley, you put him against two people who really, really want that fucking belt. But right now, I believe in Hangman.
mhm.
Hangman has it. Like Hangman, he's
Right
really
now they
pushed
are
it.
really selling Hangman to be next in line for something big. Yes, they gave him this belt. That really doesn't. It just symbolizes that he won the tournament, but they don't wear it. They don't go around toting it around. They get a trophy or their name on a trophy. But the real win or grab out of this win was the fact that they're going to go after John Moxley's title. But like he said on Dynamite, well, Osprey said, "Hey, if you need someone to help you, if you win, I'll be there." So that's good to know. Now you need some more people because there's how many in the Death Riders?
5. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Pac's out
Pac
temporarily.
might be back. Pac
As I'm
might be
saying, like if
back.
he's out for temporarily, we'll know how long, but maybe by all in he'll be
It's
back.
always visa issues with him. It's always visa issues.
This time he broke his ankle, so or he did something.
Oh,
Yeah. That's he was hurt. He
oh,
was hurt for
okay,
real
okay.
on a match versus Swerve. I think he landed wrong or Swerve landed on his leg wrong, and whatever happened. Again, unfortunately for Pocket, it happens to him
Hmm.
specifically. But again, a great AEW pay per view, Double or Nothing. If you haven't had a chance, watch it back. I think it really is worth a watch. It's not one of those. It wasn't one of those pay per views where the majority of those matches could have been seen on Collision or Dynamite. This was a great pay per view, and I think everyone
Hmm.
showed out. And you're building some stories. Like you got again Mercedes Moné going after Tony Storm. You have Hangman going after John Moxley. You don't know what's going on with Okada and that belt. The Don Callis family been looking super strong. I mean, there's just a lot of things going on. So all you can do is stay tuned, see what happens next, and tomorrow you might get some answers for Dynamite.
It's gonna be nice to see what they're gonna push on Dynamite as far as now that this is over. We know the top two matches are at least going for the big championships, but what else is developing? Because it's going to be a lot of wrestling that week, let alone what's going to happen on that show. As far as any other pay per views are concerned, they do have the actually this is next week on June 4th. It's the AEW Fighter Fest that's happening between both Dynamite and Collision
Nice.
on June 4th, and then you have man they just don't stop. AEW Dynamite Summer Blockbuster, and that's on June 11th.
That's the day before Saturday Night Main Event, and then the next night's Evolution. No, that's in
So
July.
so we're looking at Fighter Fest, which is a Wednesday and Saturday, and then June 11th is the following Wednesday in Portland, Oregon. And then you have AEW Grand Slam Mexico June 18th, which is the following Wednesday,
And then it's
and
Money in the Bank, right?
That's in Mexico City. Uh, and then you have All in Texas. So hopefully they give that good month of just storytelling and little matches here and giving their guys time to rest in between because man, you just had Double or Nothing. You got one, two, three more pay per view esque TV shows coming up.
Yeah. They might have some belts changing outside of the main belts because right now the Mercedes versus Tony Storm's money. It's gonna be money for All In, and again, it depends on what happens with Hangman and Moxley, or maybe they add Osprey. It's still gonna be a money match. So
To me, what would make sense, since you mentioned Mercedes Monet, she needs to lose the TBS championship.
agreed.
If
We talked
she's
about
going to
this last
go
week.
for, if she's going to go for the women's championship and win it, because she's going to go for business for herself, or whatever the case would be, who knows? It doesn't make sense for her to go in with the TBS championship because you're not giving the women anything else to fight for, and that's sad.
Yes,
So lose that. Hold on to the New Japan Women Strong. That's just
she
like
lost
holding
that
on
one
to
already.
the.
She lost that one already.
Well, she also has the what's the other belt?
Queen in the Ring or Queen something.
It's from England.
Okay,
She's a champion over in England. It was damn it, ready. It was TBS. It was the English one. It was the New
Mexico one.
Japan, and then there
Mexico.
was a fourth one. I think it was in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Regardless, now she's three belts. She really should be less than that if she's going to go in, diving first for that, because it would not make any sense for her to hold both championships and not want to lose them.
Exactly, and we talked about that last week. Like I said, like if she's gonna go after Tony Storm, she has to lose those belts. She just has to. She can't be running in with to All In with all these belts. You're right. Just other women need to have the opportunity to have that belt and have other storylines going on. So
How do you not, make progress in your 6 years of being a wrestling company if you only let one person hold all the gold? That makes no sense. You know,
Exactly.
yeah.
But the
There's
good thing
plenty of other
is,
women. There's plenty of other women that do deserve to be holding on to that belt, that
and
TBS championship.
the good thing is, AEW's trending in the right direction with stories and really building up other characters other than just the Death Riders and Hangman and Osprey. So it's building up, and I'm interested to see what happens. And all we can do is stay tuned and watch.
You damn right. Just like we do here, it's an episodic kind of way that we just keep watching no matter what. And you know the days because we do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Well, they do it every day of the week, so you know our TVs are on, locked and loaded.
Exactly. But
No
we
style.
appreciate you tuning in Tuesday for Top Rope Tuesday Beyond the
Top rope
Ropes edition.
off the top.
Off the top, but hey, catch us live this Thursday, BTR Bell to Bell, when we discuss what's going on in every other company because there's a lot, again, this wrestling just doesn't stop,
Mm-mm.
doesn't stop. But for for Retro Relapse, I'm Randizzo. Stay tuned for more stories, more violence.
Uh huh.